Coaches have dedicated countless hours of hard work to the betterment of our athlete programs. Coaches are the foundation of our teams, and their unique coaching styles give the purpose to our teams. So the coaches here at Grandview explain some of theirs.
I'm a pretty demanding coach. I like things done as close to perfection as possible. I would say that I'm very organized. My practice plans are very deliberate, what each player's doing, what our goal is, whether or not we're incorporating different coaches on watching different aspects of the game. But for the most part, I would say the one thing I do with all my players is I do mental training, because I think it's one thing that all athletes can be better with.
I don't know that I have anything specific like that. I guess I would say just try and treat players fairly, and we want to be as competitive as we can and be honest with players. Yeah.
I think it's mostly looking at or trying to make sure that players are playing as they're training, and try to help use the game to teach them and to do the things that they need to do to be successful. So I try to think about ways that I can manipulate the game to achieve the objective that I'm kind of working towards.
Even with all these techniques, all the players are different, so the coaches explained how they have to adjust to different players.
I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty tough on my players. I think if you asked all of them, they would say that. I would hope that they see that the reason I'm tough on them is because I want them to succeed.
Yeah, what's best for one player, they might not take it the same way as another player, how you say things, and I think a lot of that is just the relationship that you form with players, and knowing like what will probably get the best out of them or what they need at a given time. So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, different players need different things. They're motivated differently, and so you have to think about how to work with each player and get the best out of them, rather than trying to do the same thing for every player.
Coaches have the tendency to be strict on their players, so we wonder if Grandview coaches are the same.
Most definitely. I think if you were to talk to my players, they would all say I'm very demanding, but you can be harder on some players. You got to be a little softer on others. We do a check-in every day, so we know what our players, if they had a bad day or if they had a good day, we know let's be nicer to this kid because when she checked in, she put that she had an awful day. So it's definitely an art where you have to figure out how to treat each kid equally, but at the same time demand a lot.
That's a great question to ask my players. I don't know that I'm particularly tough on them. I think it's a matter of they know what their goals are and trying to hold them accountable to what their goals are and helping them achieve that. I don't think I do, but
I think I'm pretty tough on them. I have pretty high expectations for their behavior both on and off the field, the way we treat our opponents, the way we treat officials, and I think having those expectations helps kind of put everybody kind of on the same playing field, and so that we know what the expectation is when we play.
Okay, that's it.
Even with the coaches, the team is nothing without the players. Having bad experiences can affect the way the player contributes to the team, so Grandview players explain their experiences.
Really, I've liked all my coaches. They've all helped me in different ways. It's just they all have different coaching, different ways they coach, so you just got to adjust to different ways coaches coach, I guess. But all my coaches have been pretty good, actually.
I've actually never had a bad experience with my coach. He's an amazing coach. He really cares about the girls. And for him being a great coach, it's impacted me to just kind of be a better person myself. And yeah.
Definitely had some bad experiences with coaches, just in the sense of belittling you and removing confidence from the way you play and during games, the way they coach in certain aspects. But I've also had good experiences with coaches, so it kind of depends.
Being a student athlete can be very challenging, so how do coaches affect the way Grandview athletes perform on the field?
My coach, I have a great coach, and he supports us all and he supports me, so it just gives me more confidence that I know what to do and I can trust my training.
I said he's a great coach. He keeps us encouraged, but he'll also call you out when you make a mistake, but he'll kind of walk you through what you can do better next time, and yeah.
It depends on the coach, because I've had coaches that won't talk to me, and then I have coaches that scream at you. So it kind of depends. I definitely think when they're screaming at you, it doesn't help. But sometimes when they're super quiet, you're like, am I doing it right or wrong? So I don't know.
Since most of Grandview's coaches are teachers at the school, they are able to help these athletes, so they describe how the teachers help them off the field.
To know all of his teammates, so he's like, it's not like he's just a coach. He's like more than that, I guess.
Well, he was my counselor the first 2 years, which was amazing. He'd help me with like school and be like, all right, so we got a lot of games that are going on, and he'd help me with all my school stuff and everything like that.
Specifically Coach Wood, because he's the teacher here. He'll help you with like your science classes. Like if you have questions, he'll take time out of the day to come out and talk to you. Or since we're at the school, he'll like talk to you during off periods about like the sport and like things you can improve when you're playing.
Okay. As you can see, Grandview coaches and players have a very strong relationship, which is why we are so good at sports. This is Valeria
And Caden.
reporting from GVTV, signing out.
bensound.com.